All right. Good afternoon, Duffers. All right. It is another week of Duffers Review, the 19th hole. It's where I drop in and talk about all things related to golf, what's happening in golf, and what Duffers' opinions of golf most likely are like. This week is an interesting week as we're getting ready to the final big event of the year, the Ryder Cup. The teams have finally been selected, so we're going to kind of look at the teams and go over that just a little bit. But what I wanted to talk about first, which I think is all over the news. I've seen it all over, Instagram, and social media, all over the place. Is it's the tiger sightings. All right, it's the tiger sightings. I'm going to be the forever Tiger fan. Those that have watched and know me like this, I'm forever a Tiger fan. I believe he'll do it and win another major. I think he will go down with the records he's so sought after of getting. There's not a doubt in my mind. The surgeries, the setbacks. I think it's part of the story. I think it's what we're really watching and we're looking at here. But what's also unique, and I think it's a story that it's going to happen. It's one of those things that I think he has that drive and determination better than almost any professional athlete out there. And here's the story that I see unfolding. Everyone's watching Charlie, right? Charlie, they just showed a clip of Charlie, almost out driving half of his competition by almost 75 yards. People are panning on the golf courses, watching, the junior golfers, all his plans. He's being groomed by the best. Who better yet, right? Your dad's Tiger, huge, shadow to play in. But one of the things that I loved watching in some of the interviews with Tiger is how he talks about it is Charlie has his own coach. Even though he's playing with his dad, he's going out and he practices a little bit. He has a separate coach. And one thing Tiger has been very, very, keen about is I don't want to coach him, train him, so he resents me later, right? That he loses the love of golf. That if he truly wants to walk down this path, it is a choice and a choice of his own, which I think is absolutely admirable, for Tiger. But seeing him out at the range, one hand chipping, and doing chipping drills that I think most of us couldn't go out there and hit 10 balls consistently, 10 feet in front of us one handed if we tried, as cool, calm, and collective as he was doing it. But he had his bag, he had his shoes on, and he was taking small, chip swings. So just as fast as he came back from his last one, to win his last, major, I think we're going to see more of Tiger for sure. It's going to be really unique how much play he's going to have, in the Ryder Cup. I know he's been talking to some of the players kind of offline and some of the experiences, and how to approach, the upcoming, tournament. But at the end of the day, I see it. I think he's going to break. I think it's going to be a story. I think it's going to be a story you've seen plant. And I do believe we will see probably one of the most memorable times ever. Charlie is a junior golfer teeing it up, at Augusta, and Tiger teeing it up as well. I think it will happen. I think it'll be one of the most iconic, moments in life of kind of a passing of a torch type of scenario we could possibly see. So it's a story that's we're watching and we're hoping to be written out there to a later date. But I do definitely see there's certain stages here. If you're looking at the what I call the TCU, the Tiger Charlie universe here, you will see that inevitable time where they both will be teeing off on a tour event. So there's my two cents on the Tiger sightings today. Um, Reno was last week. You saw us go live from Reno. I got the crew online and set up for next week. We're going to do a full Reno recap next week with all the guest stuffers and stuff that went out and invited me out to come play in Reno. We played three very actually very very unique courses. Washoe, DeAndrea, and Red Hawk. These were the three courses that we played in Reno, Nevada, and they all actually came out with very, very decent scores. There were areas, obviously, where you, from me as a duffer, you will see coming up that we talked about, that have room for improvement. But one of these courses I predicted will be, I think, here probably in the next 2 years in Reno's top 5 courses to be played. And you're gonna have to stay tuned for more in those reviews because it was an absolute gem that is being worked on, and I feel it has the potential to really blow the doors down when it finishes some of its renovations and stuff there. So that's enough being said about that. Um, let's talk about some summer golf tips and trips. We're wrapping up, right? We heard the guys over at Barstool talking about fall golf. This is actually very unique because I live in Arizona. So yeah, it's getting later into the season, so the temperature is coming down. It's only 101 right now, but for being in Arizona, that's absolutely extremely manageable. So here are some actually great tips for the as the season starts to come to a conclusion. You have a ton of tournaments that are getting ready to be played. You got a ton of tournaments you should look into. That if you're just as golf hungry as I am to always want to be playing, if you're in those northern states, look into tournaments for a getaway trip. Come down to Arizona. There are so many tournaments getting ready to happen starting basically Friday, Saturday, and Sundays for the next 3 months here that play in beautiful weather and have some great opportunities to win some great prizes. Not going to spoiler alert that one either, but next week's event, I just heard some great news about a golfer who, luckily enough, hit their first hole in one, but it wasn't at a Duffers Review Las Vegas Challenge. So I don't know if my wallet is excited for that or the fact that they just missed that opportunity to do so. But it was their first hole in one and actually won a pretty good prize. So there's a little bit of a spoiler alert to that. Some of the other tips you could do here is when you're looking for your golf trips is look for stay in place, right? There's so many different courses out here right now that are trying to draw back in. Basically, it's all the snowbirds are getting ready to come back down to Arizona. So like this, so there's a lot of stay in play opportunities across the southern, states here that have some great courses to play. Be checking out my social medias for that for a bunch of different stays and plays that we're going to be talking about, where you can get some great opportunities to get 2-3 rounds in, guys trip, or you can still make it a couples trip, tie in the spa treatment for the wife. Better yet, if your wife's a golfer like I am blessed enough to have, then it's even more of a trip for the both of you, right? Tee it all up for both sides of the house. So here's the other thing is let's get into it. Let's talk Ryder Cup selections. I'm going to go into my really this is my Duffers review of this Ryder Cup thing right here. I'm going to pull this up here so we could talk about it in this fashion. Here's what I'm going to find absolutely unique about this. So we have the U.S. team roster here. Zach Johnson is the captain. Vice captains is Steve Stricker, Davis Love, Jim Furyk, and Fred Cover, Stuart Sink. A lot of vice captains. Someone's probably going to beat me up on this, and I expect all the comments. Please give me the comments. I'd love to have you on to even chat about it. I'd love to banter about this, and I'm going to banter about this next week as well. But I'm looking at the rosters, both sides of the house. And this right here, I think, is the effect of Live Golf. 12-man rosters. And I almost want to say it's a 50-50 on a who's who and a who's a not from a namesake. I think there's a lot of new names here because the names and or players that should be here are out in the live tour doing other things. And I think this year is going to be one of it's not, I don't think it's going to be a runaway for either side. But I think it's stacked in one of these two sides advantages. Now, true diehards are going to know everyone across the roster, could tell you every last place for these come back to us. I'm a duffer. I watch my favorites, right? I like to watch those who are making a move or making a splash in Japan. So as we're looking at this and this lineup here, I've heard the name Sam Burns. I know Cantlay. I know Clark, Ricky Fowler. He's the guy I think is going to bring some major points in for this. I think he's going to hold it down. Um, Ryan Harmon. Sorry, Brian. Don't know you that way. Max Homa. I know you because you look like the absolute backyard guy. That you're like seriously this guy's on tour. All right. Uh, Brooks. I don't even know how he got here. Right, and this is it's still a question mark if I'm looking at how he got selected to the Ryder Cup team. Um, and no one else from the other side of the fence, did. But hey, Morikawa, I think he's going to bring some spice to this, for the U.S. team. Then I think who's really going to hold down some major points here is going to be Xander and Scotty. I think they're going to run out front. And this is probably the surprise picks right here: Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. For me, this. There's a lot of other players I felt like are sitting at home right now going, wait, what? Um, Zach Johnson said it. You don't leave JT on the bench. I don't know. I mean, when you're not scoring well, you're missing cuts, and the confidence in JT himself is been deprecated down on that. I hope he's doing so much training and so much aspects of this that he shows up to the Ryder Cup and shows the world that he was like it wasn't a mistake to put him on the slot. That's my hope for JT. Love JT. I think it's like that. And I think, same thing kind of for, Jordan. I hope these two find a spark to drive each other to let nobody else touch them. As a whole, for what we have from the selections, I would have made slightly different selections. I think Finu should have been in the mix here. I just there's just some pieces here that I find very okay. I mean, the vice captains have more namesake than half the team on here, as it stands. So it's going to be a very, very interesting run for the U.S. roster. Now, the European roster here. Cheers up, you guys. The European roster, I think, kind of falls in the same boat. You've got some names that are obvious here, but you have some names here that have been making major moves that I think are going to carry a little bit more weight to firing up the team than kind of against the U.S. team here. Captain McDonald, vice captains Thomas Muir, Nicholas. I'm not even going to try to butcher that. It's called Certs, Jose Maria. Yeah, I'm just butchering these names. And both the Molinaris, they got kicked them off. We have a few that they don't even know about, but it's my insight. Ask me again on another day. But here's kind of team details. I think McElroy here has some very extremely large shoes to put on. I think he's the one who's got to step up and play the Ian Poulter role. I think again, live players that are missing out on this. The Ryder Cup is just not going to be the same with Ian Poulter not having some sort of um, commitment to it, some sort of partnership to the team, and I think that's going to show. So I think of the group here, that's going to really really fall on McElroy's shoulders big time here to really give the European team that spark. Rom, I mean, he's when I'm talking about Mr. Steady. This guy's just got laser focus. It's amazing to me how he can just stay, steady structured, even when he's kind of in a slump. He still finds a way to, chip back and pull some very decent scores around. He won't let an 8 destroy him, where other people have totally missed the cut behind it. And it's kind of almost like you should start him off with an 8 just to watch him turn around and turn out some jets to pull forward. Hovland, Fitzpatrick, both these guys are on an amazing run. I think a lot of people are looking at Fitzy here as who are going to be the actual carrier. He's coming off so hot after 2 big wins in the FedEx. I think this is a different stage. I think this is a stage he's not prepared for. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's got what it's going to take to hold up underneath it. Hatton Fleetwood, I think, are going to carry. They're going to go halves in their points and marks. And then Justin Rose, he's one of those. If Luke Donald plays him correctly, he could pull off some major points against the U.S. He's got the experience. He's got what he needs behind him in that perspective. The other piece of this that I think is so structured is it's such a chess game. And I think this is probably one of the harder chess games looking at the players you have here because, again, 50-50 of the team squads here, I would put into a position of going, I'm not worried. He's going to go out there and he's going to play it. So I think both captains here, how they make their pairings and how they make the setups here is going to be so unique. And I honestly don't think for once we're going to be watching the big names. I think we're going to be watching a lot of these other names here that people are like, who's a bird? A bird, Ludwig a bird? Straka. I think we're going to be watching a lot more in this year's Ryder Cup, which I think is going to be quite entertaining to finally see. I think overall, what we've seen in the tournaments in the last few months has been lackluster. I think for once, this is either I kind of feel like the energy to the original Tiger versus Mickelson, the match. Everyone thought it was going to be this just amazing, super banter, hysterical thing to watch. Phenomenal shot after phenomenal shot. That for them to turn around and give everybody their money back, Ryder Cup's kind of sitting in the same position. I'm hoping it blows it out of the water. It's an absolutely tight race all the way down to the end of it because it's entertaining. It's an actual challenge. I don't want it to be just such a tie all the way down, and one or two people, can make or break the ultimate difference. I hope there's some actual sways, battles in this that makes this, to be actually very fun golf to watch. It's unique, to say how and what we're going to unfold in this perspective here for the Ryder Cup. I'm excited. We're a weekend away, for this thing kicking off here, and it's going to be really, really unique. It's also unique that we've already started the new PGA Tour season, where we saw the Tiger sightings we were talking about earlier, and it's unique. What we're about to see unfold because you have so many people that aren't even going to start the season. So it's this kind of a lackluster start again. If this is kind of one of those, they play the FedEx Cup to be the Super Bowl, and here's your Pro Bowl. Let's let the Pro Bowl finish, before you go and want to kick up the new season. Like let's wrap it up. Let's finish the 2023, season here, and let it play out. Then give everyone the break, then get everyone, back out to golfing again. And I think it's going to be very unique to see what unfolds here for both tours. As the season here is kicking off, I think there's still a lot yet to be talked about and to unfold. So that's my 2 cents in the Ryder Cup. Their selections. I appreciate any insight or comments on what you guys think. Which team's going to run away with it. Or who's going to win it. Throw it in the comments. Let's chat it up. Let me know if you think U.S. is going to win it, or the Europeans going to win. I have a feeling we're about to watch the makings of what could have been, and come down to a wah wah wah. So. That's it. That's this week's Duffers review. I wish I had more for you, but what we are going to do. Let me talk about this for a little bit. I got a little bit more time here on the slot. We have been running Thirsty Thursdays. So every Thursday, I'm going to put together a new golf course drink that has either been chatted in, texted in on one of the posts that have been calling in, brought to you to test and try out and let you know, is it worth it, is it not worth it? Right. This week's was Cider Course. Ciders. They're a local Arizona brother company, fellow Marines. backed and created this company. If you haven't tried them, absolutely try them. Again, I've made it clear I'm not a big beer drinker, but when you got to play those beer pongs or something like that, I'll definitely grab one of those. I have those lined up in the fridge for those type of antics on my side, at least for drinking. But we're going to be doing new ones each week. So we got a whole lineup of a bunch of different ones that have gone out there as the top 10 drinks for the courses. That I'd be happy to go out, and share and review for you. And then we're also going to be doing Friday finds. And outside of the podcast, so I get a little chance to show you a little bit more from a product standpoint, unique products, that are golf related. What are the best things that are, that should be in a Duffers bag? This week's Friday's find. I'm excited. We're really going to go from the studio here to the outside, and we're going to go live. We're going to talk about that so you guys can see some actual Friday finds and its finest. I'm excited to actually get to that. That also being said, it is debuting here in 9 minutes. The next Duffers review. This week we'll be talking RGA from North Carolina. RGA is one of the local municipal courses that Derek himself said was one of the best courses in the Raleigh, North Carolina area to be played. Well, me and guest Duffer Kendall went out there and we gave it our best shot to give it the best review we could possibly give it. So join us here in a few minutes and take a look at what we reviewed for RGA out in North Carolina. Keep a lookout on some great ones that come up. Next week, again, the Reno crew will be joining me here in the 19th hole. And we're going to talk about one of the great sponsors that came out and supported the Duffers review that helped put together some of the events at some of the courses and lined everything up. We also did a review of a playing game out on the course, which turned out to be absolutely hysterical. And we're going to talk about it next week. That everyone should have this in their bag. If you don't, it will be a great Christmas gift that we'll be doing from the Friday finds and the Christmas idea reviews coming down the line here, as you'll see more filling up the list. It's been a crazy week trying to put everything together. This week has been consistent of the 3 days out there in Reno. Now, guys, the Reno recap that you're going to see next week, I want to explain one more thing for you guys. Nick and the crew there, they invited me out. They subscribed to the channel, and they said, "Hey, we'd love for you to come out and review some courses here in our backyard." So besides the hospitality that Nick provided, like that, I did it. We finally put it together. We found what worked in the calendar for everybody. I flew up for 3 days and we went out. We played the 3 courses, but we also, I got a chance to review some of the secondary scenes, a couple of 19th holes. There was a great brewery we stopped in that you'll be seeing about in some of the reviews here coming forward, but just some of the Reno area things to do, from the hot air balloon races to the street scene, bikers parade and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. We'll be talking more in the recap review next week, as well in those 3 different courses reviews coming out for you as quickly as I can get them out. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I appreciate you guys dropping into the 19th hole. As again, we sit here, we talk all things golf. Cheers to you. If you have an idea you want to have, talked about, you want to get some more information about, please let me know. Just put it in the comments, drop me a message. I'll be happy to throw it into, my 2 cents from a Duffer review. No one better than the best Duffer out here, in town doing this for you guys. So again, thank you for stopping in, checking out this video. Make sure you like, comment. I look at all of them and happy to respond. And if you have anything that you think should be reviewed for the Friday finds, let me know. I'll grab one, go find it, or even go on the hunt for it to see if we can locate it and see if it's worth it for something that you definitely should have as part of their golf collection for their environment. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, you guys have an awesome and safe weekend. Keep on swinging.